This is a test match using Survival Rock with the splashes. I keep the hand. Alright, Coin Ranger, and done. Well, may as well attack first. And in case I draw a green source, I'll play the City of Brass. And try for a survival. Nice. No play with their 1 mana. It's an interesting combination. Good land choices. Waterfront Bouncer, it's madness. Glad to have drawn a forest here. Smooths my plays out for sure. Trevor's Ruins. Yeah, that's definitely not what they were hoping for, I would think. They're trying to catch up on tempo. I assume they probably have a counter. That's interesting. Yeah, they definitely have survival if they're playing these cards. Anyway, I will take that swords. And which card do I want? If I play Shredder, they can bounce or bounce in response. I have to shred my own creature. So I don't want to do that. Karmic Guide, Mystic Snake. Maybe Thunder, maybe Thornscape Battle Mage, perhaps? Yeah, that feels right. Maybe I should have done the order a little different, because I am going to want to play Recurring Nightmare. Right, do my attack. Would have been right to attack before doing any of that. Well, would have been right to dress first, then attack, then do the other stuff. Though actually, that would have opened them up to, if they felt like changing their mind about what to do with the bounce, or maybe bouncing my Birds of Paradise during the combat. Though actually, I would have been able to just sink the mana into survival. So just a bunch of thinking without without really much necessity for it. So that's nice. I'm glad they did that. The bouncer is gone now. It should be easier to gain full control here. Good draw. Discard Squee. And I need to keep in mind that they still have a Swords to Plowshares. How can I spread this out in a way that makes sense? I'll get Braids. And I'll play this Birds. Put my Hermit into play. Now I will replay Recurring Nightmare. Right, getting rid of that. That's fine. I'll just go get a bird back. I feel like this is not the efficient way to do this. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, they have Mystic Snake up now. I just need to be mindful of that. Huh. How can I draw the snake out without having to go too far with it? I'm gonna go get Quarian Ranger here. Tap for a green. Untap. Could just cast the other Hermit. That would definitely draw it out. Plus I want... Yeah, I want a Hermit back in my graveyard. So it sort of accomplishes two goals at the same time. Okay, cool. That's done. I'm just going to pass the turn. It's possible maybe I should have attacked first, even though a Resolved Hermit would pump my tokens. On the logic that they'll still counter it anyway, due to its impact, even if I play it in post-combat. That probably would have made sense. Huh. Just gonna pass the turn, huh? Very interesting. What could that mean? What do they have? Well, I think I'm going to... I'll discard this Battle Mage. May end up not ever needing that. And now... I assume they have like a counterspell or something. I'll get Sadistic Hypnotist. I'm just gonna force it. I feel like I must have forgotten to X one of these out. Yeah, that Trevor's Ruins is gone. Anyway, well, we'll never know what their mysterious card was, or cards if I forgot to drop the forest from the revealed pile. But into the sideboard, what do I want against a sort of controlling survival madness? Monk Realist probably makes sense. Is Braids good enough? That I'm not so sure about. Battle Mage, it's an enchantment. I definitely want that. Other Battle Mage. Artifact or creature. Yeah, I do still want that. Maybe Graveborn Muse. That might be a little more aggressive next time around. They're probably pretty low on non-creatures. Maybe 2 Duress. Let's say I drop those. And I put in a second Squee. I think that might make sense to have just as like a go-to card for after sideboarding, when just something to make up for the graveyard hit. Do I want my Braids back? I don't know, it seems like it just couldn't be good enough. Maybe Goblin Sharpshooter. No, I'll just... I'll just put Braids back in. Not a great hand. But is it keepable? Yeah, they mulligan to 6 on the play. I think I can make this work. I've got the city ready to enable the Kavu. Multiple therapies. So at least the second one should hit. Yeah, as you can see, this is it's sort of turned into a trade win deck. There's only a single tempting worm at this point, just one in the sideboard for the matchups where it's really excellent. Turn 1 bird, great start for them. There's my squee. Maybe I can use it to flashback a therapy. Having 2 squee is a more viable strategy in the version with City of Brass because I can cast it more readily, obviously. Survival of the fittest. That's a miss. Oh, that's a weird hand. Well, they're going to get their quiet speculation. But with stuff like Mystic Snake and Karmic Guide, there's no way that this isn't a survival deck. Go for the speculation. I guess they don't want to expose it to a potential therapy flashback, which makes complete sense. So speculation would be for, I don't know, maybe 2 deep analysis and a ray of revelation. They might be more aggressive and go for Roar of the Worm. Oh, yeah, just one of each. Okay, that's a sensible set of cards. Time for therapy. I'm going to name Swords to Plowshares. It's going to be awkward for them to keep Circular Logic up. Play a Forest. They could Reclamation both my therapies. Nope. Well, I mean, I guess they still can if they hit a land, but they're going for deep analysis, which I think is very logical there. I'm not applying pressure. I mean, I'm pretty surprised they went for a Roar instead of just their deep analysis, but they did miss their land drop, which is quite lucky for me. So I'm going to play City. I'm going to cast Squee. And then I'm going to go for Circular Logic. It's only a matter of time before they get something. I mean, and of course they can just keep mana up if they're really set on having counters ready. Might come in handy as a worm token blocker. Yeah, at some point I think they're going to be unable to resist playing Crescent Reclamation. Interesting stuff. That is threshold, as long as there are 7 or more cards in the graveyard. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, you may put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. So, pretty good with Mystic Snake. They don't have threshold quite yet. Volcanic Spray, good with Birds of Paradise. Now they're going to have Threshold soon, so I could knock out the Mystic Snake right now by playing Squee and flashing back the other therapy, which seems better than going for the Flametongue Kavu first. Hunting Grounds is pretty cool, though. And I guess it makes it so perhaps they aren't playing Survival. I mean, they probably should be, but like the Quiet Speculation package is going to take up a lot of space. Anyway, there goes the snake. They have another Hunting Grounds, which is not a super good card in multiples, especially when they have no creature in hand. Also, with them being mana screwed, I can hit their bird next turn and then start attacking. Will be a 4-turn clock if unopposed. They drew their land. A little bit overdue for that. I assume they're going to play another Hunting Grounds, and then I guess they'll maybe hem and haw a little bit about playing Reclamation on the Squee. Yep, they went for it. And yeah, this would be a situation where a second Deep Analysis would be a lot better than Roar of the Worm in their graveyard. Ooh. Kill an enchantment, make them discard. That sounds pretty good. But on the other hand, I can Flame Tongue their bird and then they won't be able to immediately roar. That does seem a little bit... Actually... No, there's just so little value in taking those cards out. I'm going to try and get some free attacks in. One of the draws to the alternative would be to maybe attack the Thunderscape into their Roar to the Worm token, have them block, and then finish it with Kavu, but I think there's no way they wouldn't see that coming. Hopefully they just play another Hunting Grounds and pass. See, they found their land. Yep, they're going to roar. Hoped it would take them a little longer to find that, but that's alright. Recurring Nightmare. That's interesting. this will be some good card advantage. Was that 6 mana? Yeah. And yeah, I guess the order does make sense. I wouldn't have been able to double kick her last time. Now I can completely wipe out both their hunting grounds. And the turn. Another speculation. What do they get on the second go? Just a deep analysis. Huh. Alright. Yeah, I guess they are trying to squeeze a lot into a single deck. That must be the only card they have at their disposal. Okay. So if I attack and they block the Kavu, I can finish it off with Recurring Nightmare. If they block the Battle Mage, I can still finish it off with Recurring Nightmare. But there's... yeah. This is how it's going to go. I'll just attack and then follow up accordingly. For whatever it is they go with. Alright, Worm is gone. And pass the turn. It should be pretty easy to just never give them priority so they can't ray my Recurring Nightmare. Okay, so now they're flashing back Deep Analysis, but at this point, the tempo and the life cost is pretty significant. Yeah, if they have white, it makes sense they'd have one of those. Huh. Alright, well, I'll attack. I'm going to block and discard Cataclysm. I would not have guessed. Yeah, definitely not a card for them right now. I'm just going to play... Does it make more sense to Recurring Nightmare twice, have the tribe be dead, and then have Kavu? No, I'd rather just have another creature in play. This is definitely the more efficient way to go. And actually, with them having Cataclysm in the deck, even though they definitely want to play it now, it would have made more sense to hold on to the swamp. Another tribe, but notably they can't pump either of them. So, I will attack. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking maybe put the Thunderscape into play and then have Genesis ready to go, but like Thunderscape doesn't attack for their life total. But on the other hand, your 2 mana sources, I don't know. I'll pass the turn. Like 2 of their mana sources do damage to them, which would bump this up. Alright, got it either way. Awesome. So yeah, the splash stuff did work well. Interesting deck to play against. Good match overall.